everyone, Happy New Year. Welcome to my 2022 mortgage overpayment summary. Sorry that this video is a bit late. I caught flu just before Christmas and I had a few weeks of feeling unwell and I'm still not back to full health, so this video went on the back burner, but I've still been reading and replying to people's comments over the past few weeks, so thanks to everyone who's shown interest in the videos. It's been great to hear your opinions. So yeah, the purpose of this video, I'm going to go through the figures from December, and then the good news is now that I've got a full spreadsheet, so we'll be able to look at the totals for the full year. So this time last year I set out with the aim for me and my partner to overpay our mortgage as much as we could do. So we'd done kind of smaller overpayments before then, but we were really focused on ramping that up in 2022. In last month's update, I expressed that I was really pleased to where we got to at that point, and the trends continue in December 2022, as you'll see. So without further ado, I'll reveal the figures. So I'll just reveal the December line first. So we started with a balance of just over £118,000 in December. The standard payment, £509. I mention it on every video, but we're quite fortunate that our interest rate was locked for 5 years last year, so we've got 4 years left on it at just over 1%, which is a really low interest rate. So we're quite lucky that our standard payments are quite low because of that. And then we had a overpayment of £526. So we have yeah, it works out that we paid, let's just sum this up to have a look. Yeah, we paid £1,035 in total towards our mortgage this month, and the interest that accrued was £115. And yeah, you can see that that's reduced quite a lot since the start of the year, so it's £15 less than it was in January. That's mainly because of the fact that well, it is because of the fact that we've knocked money off the mortgage, so there's less interest that we are paying. And then it does fluctuate each month, dependent on the number of days in the month. So for example, in November, there's 30 days in November, but 31 days in December, so that's why we've got more interest accruing in December than November. And then the final balance was £117,185. We knocked off £935 off the mortgage balance in December. Excuse me. So ideally it would be great if £1,000 came off the balance each month, but at the moment, the reason that why we've scaled the overpayments back a bit compared to the start of the year was that we wanted to have more cash available to us for day-to-day spending and for holidays and so on than we felt like we were having when we were overpaying by £1,000 per month. So let's have a look at the yearly total. So I'll just move this box to the side. Okay, so yearly total. So starting balance was 132. So call it just under £133,000. We paid £6,000 in standard payments, and then in overpayments we actually paid just shy of £11,000. So it's one of those strange things where we've actually paid more in overpayments than we were contracted to pay in standard payments. So overall towards the mortgage we've contributed £17,076 this year. The interest that accrued over the year was £1,436. So this is a really low interest amount for the year, and I mean it's low for me because when we started having a mortgage and we had a balance of around £160,000 in a mortgage rate of just under 3%, the balance that accrued in the year was around £4,500 if I recall correctly. So with £3,000 better off than we were then, which was a couple of years ago, because that's £3,000 that's in our pocket rather than in the mortgage companies. And then the end balance was £117,185. So we managed to we managed to break through to £10,000 sort of barriers, as I'll call them. So we went into the 120s, and now we're into the one teens, I'll call it. So under £120,000. So the number that we are, I should say, me and my partner are most proud of is this balance paid off figure. So we've managed to pay off in total, so £15,639 off the mortgage balance, and that's money that's off that balance now, and it'll stay off that balance. So that is a monumental amount. You know, that is the equivalent of sort of potentially someone's wage for a year, you know, that we've, you know, knocked off the mortgage balance. So we're really proud of that. And because of the amount that we've overpaid, it has felt like it's made a difference to the balance. You know, we have noticed it. You know, 130,000 feels a lot different to 117,000. And, you know, I think the point where I'll really start feeling like we're making headway is when we get this balance under £100,000, which doesn't seem too far away now, because we're 17,000 away. So it's probably going to be something that happens in 2024 where we get to that point. But the closer we get to there, the better it'll feel. I apologise for coughing on this video, but I don't want to keep I haven't got easy access to my mute button, and I don't want to refilm this video again, so you'll have to bear with me. Apologies. So I'll just move this box here, and we can see the total values for the year. Some other summary statistics I put in. So the percentage of the mortgage that was paid off in 2022. So I take the start balance, and yeah, I look at the percentage that were paid off. So 12% of the mortgage was paid off in 2022, which is really good. I've had a few queries before about, you know, how can I pay? Do I not incur a penalty for paying off more than 10% of my mortgage balance? Because I know some mortgage companies have that as a rule. Luckily, my mortgage provider allows us to pay up to 10% of our overpay 10% of our original mortgage balance. So our original mortgage balance was kind of around £160,000, so we can overpay up to £16,000 per year. And actually, also this is a percentage paid off, which includes what comes off naturally. So the percentage that we overpaid, I can do that figure here, is that we overpaid 8% of our mortgage balance. So we're well under that limit. And then the total overpayment so far is £20,240. So this is in the lifetime of our mortgage. How much have we overpaid? So we've had a mortgage for around 5 and a bit years now, and yeah, we've overpaid by £20,000, which is a huge sum, because if I was asked to produce £20,000 tomorrow, you know, I wouldn't have the means to produce that. So by doing it incrementally, that is, you know, it really pays off. So what are the plans for this year, 2023? So I always go back and forth in my head about what the balance is between aggressively overpaying the mortgage but also having enough money to live comfortably day to day. Because me and my partner are in our 30s, I don't want us to feel like we have to miss out on holidays or feel like we are kind of unnecessarily having to watch our money when actually we both earn good wages, and without overpaying we would actually have a lot more disposable income. So because of that, I did take the decision in around October time to go from overpaying by £1,000 a month to scaling that back to around £500 a month, so putting £500 back in our pockets. I think that'll continue for some of this year, maybe most of this year. I'll see how we feel, because we do want to have more cash savings, and that's something that we're not too great on. I'd like at least a few grand easily accessible in cash, so that's separate from our stock and shares ISA, that I can use for emergencies, as well as having a buffer for if things come up where we'll want to kind of go away somewhere, that it's there. So my priority will be building up that cash savings buffer. When I get to a level, or when we get to a level where we're comfortable with that, then we may scale up these overpayments again. But it is quite challenging to know what the correct balance is. I think it's just testing a few things and seeing what works. But in regards to the mortgage, I think the number that I feel comfortable, well, the number I aspire to is that if we pay off at least £10,000 of the mortgage balance a year, and that means as at a minimum the mortgage would be paid off in 12 years. But obviously there's a plan to ramp up these payments again, so if that's the minimum, then it may be that actually we'll revert back to that 8-year plan again if we go back to the £1,000 a month overpayment. But I've got to play it by ear and see how we feel, because I don't want to commit to being mortgage free in 7 years or 8 years but be miserable in the time, because I never feel like we've got enough money to do what we want to do day to day. So yeah, that's the plan for the moment. A bit of a ramble, but let me know what your plans are with mortgage overpayments in 2023 in the comments below, and I'll be continuing these videos this year, so I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.